Before you talked enough.
It's like I'm talking all weekend. It never sounds.
Being present.
Being present.
Being present.
Being present in this moment.
Yeah.
Very difficult. Okay? All right? Is this a separate group right here with this fabulous friend? I love that scar. You're welcome. Is this a separate group?
Yeah.
All right. And the supernova. I'm just checking.
How can we share with our home church what it means, how important it is to be a conference here together?
Okay. How do I take what happened here back to the community that I...
Yes.
Okay? All right, very good. How about this very good? I like that this colors here. The color scarf is like you're coordinating. Very good. Fabulous little strings there around Nick's neck. Yes, indeed. Give me one thing.
Okay, I was talking about after this, I have a friend that's coming. He lives in Seattle that I'm going to see, so they'll probably meet missing me talking to the youth and young adults. And then also convincing my dad to let me take my computer and try and find a Wi-Fi.
All right, so those are two things. So first is he's meeting a friend later on, and because he's meeting a friend later on, he will miss my time with youth and young adults. What I'm saying.
And he wants to take his computer.
And the second thing was trying to convince his father to use his computer to find another Wi-Fi spot. And Dad is in the corner going, not gonna happen. Okay? So that they can stay connected. So trying to find another Wi-Fi spot so they can stay connected. And there's another engagement with another friend. That's important. You have to go. So let's hold all these together. Hard for me to be present. I'm thinking about what's going on. There was a fabulous kiss right there. There's really not a space here. I'm trying to be present in this very moment, which is difficult. This group said,
Take experience.
how do I know what's going on? I have other obligations that are going to interfere with my ability to be fully present here, and I'm trying to be present and respond to needs that are here. Yes?
If 3 of the 4 of us are experienced going to conference, one of us does not have that experience and therefore feels a bit awkward in coming into an environment where I think she thinks that everyone knows each other.
Okay, so what happens when you walk into the Starbucks, but everybody else there knows all things, and you grew up on the East Coast, and all you know are Dunkin'? There is a significant vocabulary challenge, and how you respond to it, especially if none of the are willing to tell you how to order stuff if it's not in English. All right, very important. This group right here with my fabulous dance partner. Yes, sir.
Our main issue was trying to find something difficult. I think the most significant thing was that this couple of times decided whether or not to travel back to Spain.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the most difficulty I would have is trying to stay at the level of connectedness over the term.
Okay. All right. So for this group, it was a little hard to find something they would call difficult. Right? On the one hand, I'm trying to make a decision about how I'm going to get back. On the other hand, but neither of these issues are in the scope of life. None of them are the sort of things that I would be writing in a journal saying, this was the struggle of my life. And so you needed to provide a really. All right, this last group, I forgot about you, Tyler Beaver. This last group right here, give me one thing.
So we had 2 people in our group who were challenged to be here because of parking-related issues. One can't come back because he can't park anywhere close and he can't walk any distance, and another who just was challenged to be here just because he had to park very close to the Husky Stadium and get up the hill.
All right. So the very practical issues of being connected, right? I have limitations. How has this particular space worked for me with my limitations? Have they anticipated some people won't be able to walk great distances? What if I couldn't get here at the beginning of the time, and so I couldn't get those few select spots that were identified for people who might walk walking great distances. And so I don't know that I'm going to be able to participate because of the practical nature of being a part of this community. Okay? So let's find our way. I like it when I walk that way. I will stay here. So let's walk our way around this room. And you guys, I want you to hold on for let's walk our way around this room one more time. Okay? But let's walk our way around this room. And let's hear everything that was said within the light of the church. Within light of the conference. And this question about being connected and making decisions about the directions in which we're going to travel. Each of us comes to the conference this week carrying the world that we left. And for some of us, it's difficult to fully engage in because our heart and our mind is at the church we left at home. And whether that church is a church that's around the corner or is on the other side of the state, if we're a pastor or who has significant leadership, we figure out how we're going to make that work. And so be fully present and engaged. For others of us, this conference, just like many of our churches, doesn't have a place for us that we can easily identify. If you're between of 22 and 33, there aren't enough people who look like you for you to know where's the space I'm supposed to go. Where are the other people who are like me? Where are the programs that have been designated for me? And what gives you that you intended for me to because you made some arrangements for me? It's hard to be present because the world in which we live is so complicated and so quick, and there's so many things I'm trying to respond to. My email, my text messages, who's calling me on my cell phone because it's available 24 hours a day. Be present in this moment. That's my difficulty. I don't know how to take the good things that happen in church. I don't know how to take the great music that I'm going to hear this week and tell other people to convince them that's a reason why they should want to be connected. A reason why they should want to come. I got other things that are important. Doesn't mean you're not important. Doesn't mean what you're going to say tonight is important. But I have other relations and other connections. And I have obligations because of that. And so when I leave this place, will you still see me as connected? Because I wasn't here when you hung out with youth and young adults. What happens? Right? When everybody else knows what's going on but you in church. Everybody knows when you're supposed to stand, when you're supposed to sit down. Everybody else knows the hymn that nobody printed. Everybody else knows what you're supposed to say during that meet and greet time. You don't know this, I don't know what you're supposed to say. Everybody else knows the scripture. Heard it before. They all seem like they know what's going on here, and I'm and what happens when you come to church, not some crisis in your life, not because everything is falling apart, and in the midst of other people, and there aren't really any challenges, but everybody else has come carrying the weight of the world. How do you remain present to them? How do you keep your eyes open for days if it's just them going on and on and on about what thing went wrong? And you don't really have anything like that right now. And then what about practical event like this? It's a Friday. People don't work on Fridays. They go to school. I got other things to do on Sunday morning. Not just sleeping. I mean actual stuff. How am I supposed to come? And what is the deal with all these churches we build when do the other people who came here before me walk? Is it some sort of an inside joke? And how come nobody told the rest of us? All of these are the challenges of connection. And whether we're having a dialogue about whether or not to be open and affirming, about how to include youth and young adults in our engagement, about what deserves the most of our resources in the budget, all of these are always present. People with life-threatening needs and people who are celebrating this time in their life. People who have other places to be and people who are just trying to figure out how to be present in this moment. That is the struggle of connection. Taking the time it took for us to sit and listen to each and every one of those stories. and to honor each and every one of them as valuable, as important, as a part. And then, being able to accept them when saying yes to all of these stories may mean sacrificing your ability to tell your story in this conversation. And are you okay if this one day we don't get to hear your story for the sake of hearing someone else's? Can you surrender your right to be heard so that others can be heard in this moment, trusting that in another moment they will surrender so that you can be heard? And then finally, can each of us come to this moment of connection asking one question: what can I do to make whatever your burden is lighter? Whether that's picking you up so that you don't have to walk and park all the way next to the stadium. Whether that's telling you to tell your friend, what's up? Whether that's getting up in the middle of the conversation and going back and inviting someone who does not feel included to come and sit with you. Or whether that's just celebrating. Even if your mind is on the church, we're glad your body's here. We'll take it. Connections, reflections, directions. We're going to have a good time together this week.